तो लेबनान की आज ये न्यूज मैं आप सभी को थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ हिस्ट्री करने से पहले, बिकॉज ये काफी चर्चा में है और इसके ऊपर मोस्ट प्रोबेबली क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं, ठीक है, लेबनान के बारे में। बिकॉज क्या है कि ये 2000 एक्चुअल फैक्ट की बात करेंगे हम, ये कोई टेररिस्ट अटैक नहीं था, ना ही ये कोई उससे रिलेटेड था, मतलब किसी ग्रुप से रिलेटेड था कि अलकायदा ग्रुप या ISIS ग्रुप, ये किसी से रिलेटेड नहीं था। ये एक ह्यूमन फॉल्ट है और कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है। आप सभी ने इंस्टाग्राम वगैरह पे और सोशल मीडिया पे जितने भी हैं उन सब पे वीडियो देखी होगी, काफी अच्छा खासा ब्लास्ट हुआ है लेबनान में। तो ये 2013 में जो अमोनियम नाइट्रेट का स्टॉक था, अमोनियम नाइट्रेट का एक स्टॉक था शिप में, तो उनके पास प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं थे, मतलब प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं थे उस कंट्री के पास। तो इन्होंने क्या करा, अपने यहाँ पे उस शिप को रोक लिया, मतलब प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंट्स ना होने की वजह से उस शिप को रोक लिया। तो उस कंट्री ने शिप को लेने से ही मना कर दिया, कि ये बोल दिया दिस शिप डजंट बिलोंग टू अस, मतलब जो भी इस शिप में सामान है, this this product doesn't belong to our country, doesn't belong to our country. So that's why they keep it over there. So that's why they kept it over there in Lebanon. They kept all the ammonium nitrate in their place, all the ammonium nitrate in their place. So where they kept it, ammonium nitrate has a property that whenever it comes in the contact of any any fire things, or any kind of moisture, any kind of moisture, then it blast, okay। और हम सभी देखते हैं कि जो रॉक्स में, मतलब जो रॉक्स में तोड़ने के लिए बॉम्ब लगाए जाते हैं, वो अमोनियम नाइट्रेट के ही बनते हैं, अमोनियम नाइट्रेट के ही बनते हैं, बिकॉज उसकी जो वाइब्रेशंस है ना, वो बहुत ज्यादा हाई पावर की होती हैं। मतलब अमोनियम नाइट्रेट वैसे नहीं तो न्यूक्लियर वेपन की तरह ज्यादा रेडिएशन वगैरह करता, ना ही ज्यादा कुछ करता है, ठीक है। बट उसकी जो गैस होती है वो अमोनिया अमोनिया गैस तो आप सभी जानते होंगे कि तीखी लगती है हमारी नाक को, और हमें बेहोश करने की कैपेसिटी रखती है, बेहोश और मारने की कैपेसिटी भी रखती है अमोनिया गैस। तो इसलिए अमोनिया गैस की प्रॉपर्टी याद रखना कि अमोनिया गैस हैज द प्रॉपर्टी to either kill us by its smoke, okay। So uh, basically they keep all the stock of 275 tons of ammonium nitrate in their place, 275 tons of ammonium nitrate in their place। So that's why what happens at that place, somewhat they keep it carelessly from the past six. In the 2013 they kept it over there, and now it's 2020. So for the sake of 7 years, Lebanon kept it without any curiosity, without any safety, without anything. They kept it without any safety, okay। They kept it without any safety. So what happens, there the fire took place, and ammonium nitrate has the property to blast, this blast, as I have told you, that this blast is also used to cut the rocks, means to make the blast in the rocks also, from which just like marble, from where we derive the marbles जो घर में marbles लगते हैं, जिन रॉक्स को ब्लास्ट करके ही तोड़ा जाता है, ठीक है। तो उसमें भी अमोनियम नाइट्रेट ही इस्तेमाल करा जाता है, बिकॉज इट हैज द वेरी हाई वाइब्रेशंस, so this is nothing but a human fault, and no one is involved. It is all the carelessness of Lebanon. It is all the carelessness of Lebanon, uh, because what the world is trying to show, that Israel is involved in it, okay, that Israel is involved in it, because as I've told you, that Lebanon, Jordan, and Israel, all these countries have common enemy, that is Israel. Enemy, that is Israel. Whatever happens in their country, they consider it that it is done by Israel, okay। But Israel has completely refused to it, and Lebanon is completely responsible for its carelessness. Lebanon is completely irresponsible, okay। But due to humanity, we must participate, because many of the humans are being hurt over there. Approx 75 are dead, and more than 4,000 people are injured, out of which many will die in the upcoming time period. Okay, so now this is the major news of the today, because we are not doing news, we are doing history and environment. After completing environment, we will come back on news of daily, because news is very important for our study purpose. Okay, such that you should know what happens in the Lebanon clearly. Don't follow the social media, because social media is trying to show that it is the responsibility, it is done by some other organizations. Social media is showing like that. Okay, no one has done it. It is completely irresponsibility of Lebanon. So we will do this: kingdoms, kings, and an early republic. So after Vedic civilization, Vedic civilization, what happens that many of the kings emerged. Many of the kings emerged, and what were they known as? Raja. They were known as Raja, and they were made by Jana. Jana means population. Okay, Jana means population. Jana makes their leader, that is known as Raja, and Jana Jana makes their leader, that is known as Raja, and their district was known as Janapad, and their district was known as Janapad. And because Jana get combined, okay, many of the Janas get combined, and they formed Janpad, and many of the Raja get combined, and then they were called as Maharaja, Maharaja. Okay, uh, so there were 16 Mahajanpadas. There were 16 Mahajanpadas. Okay, Maharaja was for each and everyone, like Kashi, Kausal, Magad. For each and everyone, there was one Maharaja. Okay, there was one Maharaja for each and everyone, each and every state, मतलब एक kingdom, one of the kingdom has one Maharaja. So many of the Rajas get combined, and then they form Maharaja, and many of the Janas get combined, and then they formed Janpad. Okay. Next is started big sacrifices like Ashwamedh Yagya. Ashwamedh Yagya was performed by जिनका आज जन्मदिन है, जन्मदिन नहीं, सॉरी, जिनका आज भूमि पूजन हुआ है, जिनका आज भूमि पूजन हुआ है, उन्होंने ही अश्वमेध यज्ञ करा था. ठीक है, अश्वमेध यज्ञ. Ashwamedh Yagya, basically known as the horse yagya, means the horse will roam all over the states, all over the cities, all over the other places and tribal areas, many of the tribal areas. So wherever the horse will go, it was considered that that king has come into the power of that powerful king. So he basically that Raja consider himself as defeated. So that Raja consider himself as defeated. That is known as अश्वमेध यज्ञ. मतलब घोड़ा दौड़ता जाएगा, और जहां जहां जाएगा वहां वहां पे वो अपनी वर्चस्व दिखाएगा कि मैं यहाँ पे जीत गया हूँ, और ये राजा मेरे से हार गया है. ये राजा बेसिकली मेरे से हार गया है, और ये दिस टेरिटरी बिलोंग्स टू मी नाउ. This territory belongs to me now. Okay. So in Ramayana, what we have seen that Love Kush have stopped the Ashwamedh Yagya, because this Ashwamedh Yagya has one of the drawbacks, that is after roaming all over the cities. These horses were cut down. Okay, these horses were cut down, means they were cut into pieces. The horse was cut into pieces and distributed among the peoples. So they were basically animal protectors. So that's why, so they were basically animal protectors. Okay. They were basically animal protectors. So that's why Ashwamedh Yagya was stopped by Love Kush, because they used to love the animal. They used to love the animals. So that's why it was a bad ritual. It was a bad ritual for the sake of animals. For the sake of animals, it was a bad yagya. Okay, because at the end that horse was killed always. Became central figures in rituals. Became central figures in rituals. Special seat, throne, and tiger skin. And tiger skin. As you can see, this is actually the later Vedic period. This is actually the later Vedic period where the society get declined, where the society get declined, and they were killing the animals. They were occupying others territory. They were forcefully occupying others territory. They were killing the rajas were fighting with other rajas, so to become one sort of maharaja, because at that time they got the money. Whenever the money comes into the society, whenever the money comes into the society, then the dispute arises for the sake of territory, for the sake of territory, that this territory belongs to me, this territory belongs to me. So for the sake of territory, they were killing the animals. They were killing the tiger for the sake of his skin, to show that they are basically rich. They are basically rich. They wear the tiger clothes, and they wear many of the animals thrones. Okay, many of the animals thrown. Okay, special seat means made by either bones or something else. So in later Vedic period, what happens, the society began to decline, and this Mahajanpada system was basically uh, the rajas were fighting against the other rajas. Okay, relatives performed minor rituals. Relatives performed minor rituals. So minor rituals मतलब छोटे मोटे कर्म कांड करते रहते थे. अदर राजास वॉच सिर्फ देखेंगे. ठीक है. Wish brought gifts. Wish brought gifts, and shudras excluded. So as you all can see that rajas will watch the rituals, and the priest will perform the rituals. Means the society begin to get distributed. Okay, get distributed among uh, shudras, kshatriyas, and vaishnav. ठीक है. तो wish brought gifts. ठीक है. Wish brought gifts, and shudras were excluded. So SC and ST का जो आज के टाइम पे रिजर्वेशन है, उसके रूट्स यहाँ से पढ़ने शुरू हुए थे, because their status begin to decline in later Vedic period. Okay, Varna. Later Vedic books written Ganga, Yamuna, Sam, Atharva, Yajur. Sam, Atharva, Yajur. Ganga, Yamuna area. Sam, Atharva, Yajur. Composed by priests, defined rituals. So the priest begin to define the rituals according to their wish. So Brahmins have degraded the society at a very zenith, because for each and everything they say that the god will kill you, that the god will throw you out of the kingdom, that the god, means they were trying to create the fear among the society. They were trying to create the fear among the society. So that's why all the priests begin to degrade the society at a very high level. At a very high level, they begin to degrade the society. Composed by priests, defined rituals, rules about society. That girls should not wear open clothes. They should remain under curtains. They should remain under means Parda system. The Parda Pratha came at this time period in later Vedic period, and the women were not allowed to participate in the politics also. They were involved in, means the status of women also begin to decline in later Vedic period. But in early Vedic period, what we see that the women were even in political system, means they were holding all the political posts in the early Vedic period. So early Vedic period was completely of freedom. Okay, uh, at that time period when we used to मतलब हमारी इकोनॉमी किसके बेसिस पे चलती थी? काऊ के बेसिस पे। सो जब भी एक कहानी मानी जाती है, जब भी गाय का स्टेटस किसी सोसाइटी में अगर बढ़ेगा, तो वहाँ पे वुमेन का स्टेटस भी बढ़ता ही है, ठीक है? ये एक अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड की एक वो मैं मानता हूँ कि व्हेनेवर द स्टेटस ऑफ द काउ विल इंक्रीज, द स्टेटस ऑफ द वुमेन इन द सोसाइटी विल आल्सो इंक्रीज, because we are loving the animal. Because if Mahatma Gandhi has also said, if you want to check the society of any nation, if you want to check the society of any nation, then check the status of the animals. Means वहाँ के जानवरों के साथ जैसा सुलूक किया जाता है, वैसा ही सुलूक इंसानों के साथ भी होता है। You can see it clearly. अगर किसी भी देश में जानवर मारे जाते हैं, तो उस देश में औरतों के साथ भी उतना ही अत्याचार होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, what are the meat loving nations? मतलब मीट लविंग नेशंस कौन कौन से हैं? जस्ट लाइक सऊदी अरब, पाकिस्तान, they all are, they all don't treat animals at a good, in a good way. So they don't treat the animals in good way. So that's why the status of the woman is also degraded over there. So that's the vision of Mahatma Gandhi. That's not my vision. महात्मा गांधी के वर्ड्स हैं, एग्जैक्टली जो मैं वर्ड्स बोल रहा हूँ ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ महात्मा गांधी के वर्ड्स हैं कि जो भी जिस भी देश में अगर आपको लोगों की स्टेटस चेक करना है, मतलब लोगों को इज्जत कैसी मिलती है या वुमेन्स को इज्जत कैसी मिलती है, वहां के जानवरों की इज्जत देख लीजिए कि उनके यहाँ जानवरों को कितनी इज्जत दी जाती है। क्या क्या वहां पे गाय सड़कों पे मतलब पन्नी में खाना खा रही है? अगर हाँ, तो वहां की सोसाइटी का स्टेटस अभी डिग्रेडेड है, बिकॉज खाली प्रोटेक्शन से गायों की प्रोटेक्शन नहीं होती। प्रोटेक्शन के नाम पे आप उन्हें पन्नी में खाना ना दें, मीन्स एक गौशाला बनाए अच्छी तरह और उसमें अच्छी तरह खाना परोसे उन्हें और एक अच्छा ट्रीटमेंट दें गायों को, तो ये चीज मानी जाती है कि जिस दिन ये चीज पॉसिबल हुई, उस दिन भारत की सोसाइटी काफी अच्छी बन जाएगी। बिकॉज द डे यू विल ट्रीट अ काउ in a good way, the day the society will treat a woman in a good way. Composed by priests, defined rituals, rules by society divided people into 4 groups, varna as per functions. So in this time period, the casteism system was dominated, because the varna system began to be occupied as by birth, means they will occupy their work according to their birth. So in this time period, all the sections begin to get divided, and the status of each and every person began to get degraded. Those who belong to Shudra, they were considered to be as the downgraded peoples of the society. Okay, divided people into 4 groups, varna as per functions. Decided by birth, priest. So priest said this: no god, no, not even a single god in our Hindu culture has said that the society should be divided according to their birth. Means the surname of yours is not according to your birth. Because if I belong to Jat community, then and I am teaching you, then I am Brahmin. I am not a Jat, or I am not a I don't belong to a Kshatriya community. Okay. If someone is getting the education, then also he should be considered as Brahmin. If someone is getting the education, then you are also a Brahmin, because you are considering the education first. Education first policy है तुम्हारी, ठीक है? If you are in army, then you are a Kshatriya, because the society, Indian society, was not according to your birth. It was according to your karma. Study and teach Vedas, perform sacrifices and receive gifts. So gift system began to dominate at this time period. the priest began to say that if you don't give me this gift, then you will lose this baby, you will मैं तुम्हें श्राप देता हूँ. मतलब श्राप देने का कल्चर जो बेसिकली आप टीवी वगैरह में देखते होंगे, वो सारा लेटर वैदिक पीरियड का है. बिकॉज अर्ली वैदिक पीरियड में कोई किसी को श्राप नहीं देता था. ठीक है, उन्हें अपना गाय चराने से मतलब होता था, गाय चराई और घर पे आए और गाय को खाना खिलाया. ठीक है, तो Kshatriyas fight battle and protect people. Fight battle and protect people. Can sacrifice. Can sacrifice. Can sacrifice means बलि चढ़ाने का काम यही कर सकते हैं और युद्ध लड़ने का. So Mahabharata is also considered to be as the part of a later Vedic period, and you all must have seen Mahabharata that many of the battles were fought at that time period. ठीक है, can sacrifice, so they used to sacrifice, they used to eat the meat, and they used to eat many things. Okay, so basically they can do anything. Kshatriyas can do anything at that time period. Vaishya, these were the businessmen. These were the businessmen and farmers, herders, and traders. Farmers, herders, and traders. So farmers are basically a kind of businessman because he is growing the crop for the sake of money. Okay, herders are herding the animals for the sake of money, and traders are also doing the trade for the sake of money. They are not protecting anyone, they are not killing anyone, they are not sacrificing anyone, and they are not performing the rituals. Okay, they are not performing the rituals, so they are basically the economic factor of the society. Can sacrifice. Okay, so they can sacrifice, they can basically sacrifice. ये word मैंने गलत बोल दिया, sorry. Can sacrifice, they can sacrifice means वो बलि तो चढ़ा सकते थे, but और बाकी काम क्षत्रिय और ब्राह्मण के ही थे. ठीक है, Shudras, so they were now considered to be for the lowest work of the society, but it should be the highest work of the society. Okay, serve other three, no rituals. Women also grouped with them, cannot study Vedas, cannot study Vedas. So this is later Vedic period, not early Vedic period. Okay, untouchables means छुआछूत. ठीक है, छुआछूत. So untouchables, they were untouchables, but everything means everything, whatever the society do, there are many cons. There may be many cons, but there are pros also. Means there are some pros of this society also. ठीक है, देर आर मेनी कॉन्स, मतलब काफी सारी चीजें इस टाइम की सोसाइटी की गलत थी. मैं मानता हूँ कि काफी सारी चीजें इस टाइम की सोसाइटी की बहुत ज्यादा गलत थी कि क्या कहते हैं, बाय बर्थ सिस्टम नहीं होना चाहिए, बट देर वर सम फ्यू प्रोज, मतलब कुछ थोड़े बहुत फायदे थे इस टाइम की सोसाइटी के. जस्ट लाइक इफ अ ब्राह्मण teaches his son and daughter from the early childhood Sanskrit, and they teaches them the shlokas of Gita and other books. So they were now very well nourished, means एक तरीके से बहुत अच्छी टीचिंग मिल जाती थी बचपन से ही. ठीक है, बिकॉज Brahmin, now they were according to their birth. So now they were according to their birth. So that's why Brahmin know this, that my children will have to learn Vedas. Otherwise, okay, nurtured. So they were nurtured very well. In this way, the Brahmins basically knows that we need to nurture them according to Vedas only. So it may be possible they may not be having interest, but those who were having the interest, they begin to became a good scholars. मतलब काफी अच्छे scholars मिलने शुरू हो गए थे इस टाइम पे. ठीक है, बिकॉज क्या होता था कि अगर कोई भी बचपन से किसी चीज की प्रैक्टिस करता है, as my father always say to me, practice makes a man perfect. Because in my 11th and 12th, whenever I used to practice the math, I am very weak in maths. I'm PCM pass out, but I am very weak in maths. So whenever I used to practice, So my father always said to me that practice makes a man perfect. Okay, so they used to practice from the very childhood, so that's why they were becoming the perfect in their respective field. Just like Kshatriyas, if the child is weak, then we cannot do anything. But if a child is, just consider if a child is strong, okay, and he is being trained from the early childhood, so he becomes a very good warrior at the end of this, his at the good age of his life, means young age of his life, he became a good warrior. Okay, he became a good warrior. So that's why fight battle and protect people. Fight battle and protect people, can sacrifice. As you all must have seen in Mahabharata also, that they all get the education from the very childhood. Very childhood, they all get the good education because they were Kshatriyas. Okay, because they were Kshatriyas, they all got the good education and they all became a good warrior up to their middle age, means young age. They get became a good warriors. But there are some exceptions, just like in Mahabharata, it is also shown that Karna used to perform from the very childhood. So he also became a good warrior. So childhood nurture means if a child is nurtured from the very childhood, then he always become a good one in that field. Okay, if he is having some of the interest, then it is considered that he will perform the best. Okay, so Vaishya, same with Vaishya, they begin to become a businessman from the very childhood. Okay, they begin to मतलब करेंसी छापने का काम बचपन से करने से शुरू कर दो, तो एंड तक आते आते वो बिजनेसमैन तो बन ही जाएगा अच्छा खासा, ठीक है. But there were many problems related to Shudras. There were many problems related to Shudras. But what happens that although the Shudras were in decline nature, but who were good at artwork, means नकाशी करने में, जो मंदिर पे in temples, the crafting of the temples, whatever they do, if they became a good one, then they earn money very well, because no one from Vaishya, no one from Kshatriya, no one from Brahmana can occupy their work. If they are good in their work, then they also get the good money in their time period. So it is not because if a society runs for approximately 300 years, just imagine it cannot run. हम ये सोचते हैं कि लेटर वैदिक पीरियड पूरी तरीके से तबाही था, ठीक है. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई भी सोसाइटी अगर पूरी तरह तबाह होती है, मतलब पूरी तरह बेकार होती है, it is completely wrong. Then it will not survive approx 2 years only. Okay, it will not survive for 2 years only, but it survived for 300 years, because although there were disputes among the society, but everyone was earning. Everyone was earning at that time period also. Okay, so earning is considered to be the major factor. So that's why it is the pros of that society. ठीक है. जनपद. So in Shudras, in present time, मैं आप सभी को शूद्रास के बारे में थोड़ा सा और बता देता हूँ. In Shudras, in present time period, what happens that the reservation is good for them. The reservation, I consider that reservation is good for them. But what happens that not the OBC, not the general is their enemy. Only the upper section of their caste only, means those whose parents are earning approximately 20 lakh per year, more than 20 lakh per year, they doesn't require they don't even require the reservation, but they are not leaving the reservation. Just like Tina Dabi. Tina Dabi, all you must have known that she got the first rank in IS, but she was from SC/ST, and both of his parents, both of her parents were officers. Both of her parents were officers. Even then, she take the reservation of SC, scheduled caste. She took the reservation of scheduled caste. So that's the major problem. Not OBC is your problem, not OBC is the problem of SC, not general is the problem of SC. The upper section of the SC caste, the upper section of the SC caste is the problem for the lower section of scheduled caste, is the problem for the lower section of the scheduled caste, because they are rich in resources, they are rich in resources, and they are also rich in quota. Okay, they are rich in resources, they are rich in quota, but what happens, those who are at the lower section, those who are not receiving the resources, they are still not receiving the resources, they are still not receiving the resources because of the rich section of the scheduled caste, because of the richer section of the scheduled caste. Okay, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, there are many rich peoples in scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they are not letting the downgraded scheduled caste to get upgraded. Okay, to get upgraded. So there must be a concept of just like OBC has the concept of creamy layer, that those who are rich, they should be excluded, they should be excluded. Okay, but scheduled caste doesn't have this, so that's why scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are still suffering. Okay, next is Janpada. Janpada, big Rajas were the Rajas of the Janpad. Big Rajas were the Rajas of the Janpad, already excavated many. Puran Killa in Delhi, Hastinapur near Meerut. Okay, Maharaja, they begin to become Maharaja. Atra Jinkhera near Eta, Eta Menpuri. So there are the many excavated sites of them. There are many excavated sites. Purana Killa in Delhi, Hastinapur near Meerut, and Atran Jikhera near Eta. Eta Menpuri, ठीक है? Eta. People lived in huts. People lived in huts, had cattle. So on this basis, British.
Atranji Khera.
What? Atrang Jikhera.
Atranji Kheda.
Atranji Kheda. Okay. Atranji Kheda near Eta. People lived in huts, had cattle. People lived in huts, had cattle, grew variety of crops like rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame, and mustard. Sesame and mustard. So we used to live in a hut and had cattle. On this basis, Britishers used to say that you were having the downgraded society, means your culture was downgraded. And later when we come to know that we had Indus Valley civilization also before Rigvedic civilization, then we begin to feel proud of our Indian culture. Okay, then we begin to feel proud of Indian culture, and then we begin to say that it is a kind of sustainable development, because we were not destroying the nature by constructing the huts. We were not destroying the nature by having the kettles. We were not destroying the nature. So in this way, we begin to feel proud of ourselves that we from the Indus Valley civilization, when we come to know that sustainable development is very good, then we came to huts and we began to rear cattle. We began to rear cattle. Okay, grew variety of crops: rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame, mustard. Made earthen pots मतलब मिट्टी के बर्तन, ठीक है? So it is also considered to be as the part of sustainable development, because here we are also not destroying the nature, just like plastic mugs. Okay, now the plastic is now banned by many of the cities in India. Okay, made earthen pots, painted greyware. So painted greyware, plates and bowls, extremely fine to touch. So these utensils were very fine. Okay, nice smooth surface to serve important people. So painted greywares, just like चाइना की मिट्टी के बने हुए बर्तन, मतलब आज के टाइम पे लाओ पला कंपनी बनाती है, जस्ट लाइक दैट. तो at that time period they were crockery. Okay, at that time period painted greywares just like crockery of present time period. So Mahajanpada, about 500 BC, some Janpadas became superior. Some janpadas became superior. Okay, became superior. Capital city, fort, walls of wood, brick or stone. So their forts were like walls of wood, brick or stone, afraid of attack, protection, protection and protection, show off that we constructed this fort, we constructed this fort. So they begin to show off because they were having enough money. So they begin to show off. When you get money without doing much of the efforts, then you always show off your products, whatever you got the products. Just like एप्पल का फोन है, चेहरा आए ना आए, बट आपको फोटो मिरर वाली खींचनी है, ठीक है, चेहरा आए ना आए, फोटो मतलब फोटो में एप्पल का आइकन दिखना चाहिए, ठीक है. So this is a kind of show off at that time period also. Show off is at every time period. Better control, required planning, labor resources, okay. So from army regular salaries, payments through punch marked coins. So payment was done through punch marked coins. So coins begin to run at this time period. Punch marked coins. So text system we will do tomorrow. Join me at 10:10 p.m. Okay, for the next class. Now this class is going to end. Text system we will do tomorrow.